The subway car rattled violently as it tore through the underground tunnels, lights flickering intermittently. Commuters were pressed shoulder to shoulder, a mix of exhaustion and impatience etched on every face. Maria, a single mother, clutched her baby tightly against her chest, rocking the child gently while keeping her own eyelids barely open. She had worked a double shift at the diner, skipped lunch, and walked 3 stops carrying groceries for her small apartment. The weight of the world pressed down on her shoulders, both literally and figuratively. Her legs trembled slightly from fatigue as she leaned on the nearest support, the shoulder of the man sitting beside her. He flinched but didn't move her away. Tall, sharply dressed with an air of quiet authority, he glanced down at her. Her breathing was shallow, her cheek resting against his coat, and he noticed the small baby nestled in her arms. "You okay?" he asked softly, careful not to startle her. His voice cut through the hum of the train like a lifeline. Maria muttered something unintelligible, too exhausted to form words. Her eyes fluttered shut again, and she leaned fully against his shoulder. For a moment he froze, surprised, but then something inside him softened. Most adults would have moved her away. Most people wouldn't have noticed. But here she was, vulnerable and weary, and he couldn't just ignore it. The train lurched and Maria stirred as her baby whimpered softly. She looked around dazedly, embarrassed to have been leaning on a stranger, Daniel or Adrian Clark, though she had no idea, yet reached subtly into his briefcase and pulled out a granola bar. "Here," he said gently, "for you and the little one." Her hand shook as she accepted it, tears welling in her eyes. "I thank you," she whispered. The train screeched to a halt, passengers jostling, but he stayed by her side, hand near hers to steady her. Maria glanced at her baby and smiled faintly, a small warmth spreading through her chest, something she hadn't felt in months. Her head was still heavy, drooping against his shoulder at moments, and Adrian didn't move away. Instead, he gave her the quiet comfort of his presence, letting her rest while the subway roared around them. When her stop finally approached, she stirred awake, cheeks flushed with embarrassment. I'm sorry," she muttered. "I didn't mean to lean on you like that." Adrian smiled gently. "It's okay. You looked like you really needed it. No harm done." For the first time that night, Maria felt seen, not as a tired, struggling single mom, not as someone invisible to the bustling city, but as a human being worthy of compassion. A few days later, Maria was back on the subway, exhausted from yet another grueling double shift. Her baby slept peacefully in the carrier, her eyes half closed, and she clutched her tote bag like it contained all she had left in the world. Adrian Clark stepped onto the train, instantly spotting her. She looked so small and fragile amid the sea of commuters, and something in him stirred. He remembered the first night, how worn down she had been, leaning on his shoulder as if the world itself had abandoned her. "Maria?" he asked softly as he approached. She looked up startled, then froze. Adrian reached into his coat and handed her a business card. "I know this might be strange, but I wanted to make sure you had a way to contact me. Last time you didn't have to say much. I just wanted to help." Her hands trembled as she took it. She stared at the polished logo on the card, disbelief and anxiety warring across her face. You're Adrian Clark." "Say so, Adrian Clark?" Adrian nodded, his expression calm. "That's right. And yet here we are, 2 people on a subway. I don't care about my title right now. I just want to make sure you and your baby are okay." Her lips parted, a laugh mixed with sobs escaping her. "I can't believe. I was crying on your shoulder and I didn't even know who you were. I'm Evelyn Hart, the daughter of James Hartwell." The words hung in the air like a storm breaking. Adrian's eyes widened. Evelyn Hart, heiress to one of the largest corporations in the country, a woman whose life should have been shielded by luxury, bodyguards, and wealth, was sitting in front of him, vulnerable and human. "I left everything," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "My family. They wanted me to terminate the pregnancy. They said I'd ruin the family name. I didn't have anyone else. That night you treated me like a person, not like a problem to solve." Adrian felt a lump in his throat. All the headlines, the boardroom power struggles, the public image, it all faded when faced with someone whose entire life had been dictated by others. He reached out and gently touched her hand. In the following weeks, Adrian quietly made sure Evelyn had the support she needed. He arranged for flexible hours at her workplace, discreetly funded prenatal care, and helped connect her with people who could actually help without the judgment she had come to expect from her family. Evelyn began to return to the subway, not because she needed help, but because it was a place that reminded her that life could still be normal, still human, still real. She and Adrian would talk quietly, sharing moments that had nothing to do with business, wealth, or social status. One evening, as she cradled her growing belly and watched Lily, Daniel's daughter from his own family, draw in her notebook, Evelyn whispered, "You and your daughter, you saved me. You showed me what family really is." Adrian looked at her, feeling the same truth. Sometimes,